The bathroom door closes, and there it is. Your dog sits outside, waiting. Not whining, not scratching. Just watching the door like something important is happening on the other side. Most people assume it's anxiety, or clinginess, or just a weird little habit dogs pick up over time, so they ignore it. They create distance. They tell themselves love is built somewhere else, in better food, longer walks, more expensive toys. But behavioral neuroscience tells a completely different story. Your dog's brain isn't measuring love in big gestures. It's tracking something far more subtle and far more powerful. There are small moments happening in your home every single day, moments so ordinary you barely notice them, that are actively shaping your dog's emotional state, their stress levels, even how strongly they bond to you. And here's the part most people miss. You're probably already doing some of them right, but not quite in the way your dog's brain actually needs. And that gap, that almost, is where the entire relationship gets built, or quietly broken. Your dog looks at you, you look back, and then, almost automatically, you look away. It feels like nothing, just a passing moment. But here's the problem, it isn't. In 2015, a team at Azabu University in Japan ran a simple experiment. They brought in dog owner pairs and measured oxytocin, the same bonding hormone involved in human parent-child attachment. Then they had them do one thing, make eye contact. What they found was striking. When dogs and humans held a soft, mutual gaze, oxytocin levels rose in both, at the same time, a synchronized chemical loop. Then they tested wolves raised by humans using the exact same protocol. The loop never activated. This isn't just communication. This is something evolution built specifically between dogs and us. So when your dog looks at you like that, they're not just watching. They're initiating a biological bonding process. And when you glance away too quickly, you're not being neutral. You're interrupting the loop. You use that high-pitched voice without even thinking about it. Who's a good dog? Do you want to go outside? It feels instinctive, like tone is everything. But here's where it gets interesting. Tone alone isn't what your dog is responding to. In 2018, researchers at the University of York tested this directly. They played recordings to dogs using that same warm, exaggerated tone, but changed one thing, the words. Sometimes the words were meaningful to the dog. Sometimes they were completely irrelevant. The dogs only moved toward the speaker when both matched, warm tone and familiar words. Not one, both. And a 2016 fMRI study took this even further. When dogs listened to human speech inside a scanner, their brains processed words in the left hemisphere, the same side humans use for language. But the reward centers only activated when tone and meaning aligned. Not emotion alone, not vocabulary alone. The combination. Your dog isn't just feeling your voice, they're decoding it. You walk through the door, and your dog explodes with energy, tail whipping, body shaking, eyes locked on you like you've been gone for years. Even if it's only been 20 minutes. Most people think the best response is to ignore it. Stay calm, don't reward the excitement. But here's the problem. That advice gets the cause and effect completely backwards. In 2021, a survey of nearly 2,000 dog owners looked at greeting styles and separation-related behaviors. The pattern was clear. Owners who kept greetings low and neutral were more likely to report worse separation issues, not better. And a 2014 study measuring oxytocin and cortisol during reunions found something even more specific. Only one condition kept oxytocin elevated after the interaction ended: physical touch combined with verbal engagement. Not distance, not neutrality. Ayat's connection. So when you walk in and deliberately hold back, your dog isn't learning calmness. They're missing the one moment their brain is primed to reconnect. A short window. And once it passes, the chemistry doesn't come back the same way. You hold the leash, you set the pace, you choose the route. From your perspective, it's a good walk, efficient, structured, productive, but from your dog's perspective, it's mostly just following you. Most people think the value of a walk comes from distance. How far you go, how long you stay out, how tired your dog is at the end. But here's what the research shows. In 2019, a group of researchers split dogs into two conditions over 2 weeks. One group practiced structured heel walking. The other was allowed to follow their nose, stopping, sniffing, choosing direction freely. Before and after, all dogs were given a cognitive bias test, a validated measure of whether an animal interprets ambiguous situations optimistically or pessimistically. Only one group changed. The dogs that followed their nose became measurably more optimistic. The heel-walking dogs showed no difference at all. Same time, same physical activity, completely different psychological outcome. Because for your dog, a walk isn't just movement, it's information. And when you control every step, you're filtering out most of it. You grab the rope, the game starts. Your dog pulls, shakes, wins. And somewhere in the back of your mind, there's that thought, don't let them win too much. Because most people believe winning creates dominance. That if the dog ends up with the toy, they start seeing themselves as in charge. But here's the problem. The data doesn't support that at all. In 2002, researchers tested this directly with a group of golden retrievers. Across multiple sessions, sometimes the dogs always won, sometimes they always lost. Their dominance scores didn't change either way. What did change was their attention. Dogs were more engaged, more responsive, and in many cases more focused on their owner after play, especially when the interaction stayed positive. And this connects to something deeper. A 2016 fMRI study found that, for many dogs, nonverbal praise activates the same reward centers as food, sometimes even more, which means during play, during training, even when you're just sitting next to them, your presence isn't neutral. Your tone, your energy, your state of mind. Your dog isn't just reading what you do, they're reading what's happening inside you. So here's what all of this really means. None of these moments look important on the surface. A glance that lasts a second longer, a word said the right way, a greeting that feels just a little warmer, a walk where you let go of control, a game where you stop worrying about who wins. Individually, they feel like nothing, but your dog's brain doesn't experience them that way. It's tracking patterns, repeating signals, small, consistent inputs that shape oxytocin levels, regulate cortisol, and activate reward circuits that treat you, your voice, your presence, as something biologically valuable. That's how the bond is built. Not in the big gestures, in the moments you almost ignore. So the next time your dog looks at you and holds it, that's not just attention. That's not dependency. That's a biological system reaching out and waiting to see if you complete the loop. If this changed how you see these small moments, subscribe and leave a comment below. And tell me this, which one of these have you been missing without even realizing it?